Dangle, balls, hair removal, Manscaped, 20% off, free shipping. Let's start the show. Go. Come on.
That was my favorite one.
Let's go.
All right.
So press the button.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
SDP. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
If you're a Rangers fan and you didn't take my advice last night and yell fucking Andre Palat at the screen, I told you. Man. Andre Palat was the offense for the Tampa Bay Lightning yesterday.
Here, let me just do this real quick.
Okay, you got rid of the tissue box. That's good.
Because I'm over it.
You're over what?
I'm over the cough.
You have a cough. You're not over it.
No, I'm over it. No, I've decided I don't have it anymore.
You can't will it away.
No. Yes, I can. I'm taking the example of society, and yes, I can wish a cough away. It's gone. I can't wish Andre Palat away.
No, you can't. 1 goal, 2 assists.
I just, I'm glad we're starting on the series because I just wanted to remark on how good the Tampa Bay Lightning are now that they're trying.
They sit back and they analyze you, and then they find you, and then you've been seen. Tampa
wins best of 3 series. Tampa does not specialize in, you wonder why in the first 3 to 4 games they look so human. Yeah, I'm amazed the Leafs. You know what? The Leafs should be proud. They won a game 5.
They're sizing you up.
They won a game 5.
They did win a 5, yeah,
against Tampa, but no one's ever been able to win 2 of 3 against Tampa. And Rangers fans are like, "What are you talking about? We were up 2-1 after 3." No, not those 3. No one cares about those 3. Those 3 don't matter. The Leafs have beaten plenty of teams. Those first 3. Are we going off that now? Oh, they're in. I'm so glad that the Leafs are on their way to the Stanley Cup final. Nope. Tampa, man. Tampa, you're so right. They size you up. They figure you out. They fuck you up.
The idea that Tampa started trying after game 3 is like a correct assessment because all of the numbers back it up. So the giveaways by the New York Rangers by the Tampa Bay Lightning in games 1 and 2, 28 in game 1, 22 in game 2. Games 3 and 4, 6 and 9.
Man,
they clamped down. They haven't allowed a goal at 5-on-5 since game 2.
Ugh.
They literally said, "Oh shit, we're down 2-0. Like, let's turn it on," and they've turned on their defense, and it's been incredible to watch.
I always feel like maybe game 1 against the Leafs and Rangers aside, they're always in it, but they're just they're kind of testing you. Like, okay, all right, they're a boxer that can take a couple punches.
One
all right,
damn goal. I'm so
and
it's gonna haunt me all summer.
The Rangers were half a period away from going up 3-0 in the series.
2-0 lead, and they blew it. That's what we harp on the Leafs for. All of their 2-0 leads versus Tampa in that series, and the Rangers had the exact same situation, and they didn't put them away.
Now here's the good news, right? So they were up 2-0. It's 2-2. That's the bad news. It's a best of 3. That's also the bad news because your opponent is Tampa. 2 of 3 at home, Madison Square Garden. That goes in the favor of the Rangers. They play really well there. Igor Shesterkin. They still got all the magical players. They just got to continue to be magical. They can do it. Mm-hmm. Lots of teams in Tampa's way over the years could have done it.
Tampa are favored, by the way.
That's
they're
so
favored
weird. I wonder why.
Sports Interaction. They're favored.
I wonder why.
To win tomorrow?
To win tomorrow.
Wow. And the Igor splits home and away are, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but his splits home and away are pretty staggering because I think
really?
there's a 30-point difference in his save percentage. I think he's at a 906 versus at like a 930-ish. Yeah.
Unreal.
In save percentage home and away.
Good news.
There's a difference.
Good news.
Yeah.
Good news. That means, oh, fuck. No, you know what that means? Rangers win game 5. Tampa clamps it down, wins game 6. And you're like, guess what? We're going back home. Igor's going to win, and Vasilevsky's the better goalie again. Lightning win game 7. I've seen this fucking movie before. I hate that fucking team. They're so good. They're so good. Listen, I as a neutral observer, I can get behind both things. I can get behind greatness. like the greatness of the Lightning making it to 3 straight finals, going for the three-peat. The first true Cap era dynasty. Or I could get behind the scrappy Rangers. Friggin' finally knocking the Lightning off their pedestal.
Yep.
I can get behind both. Both will be. I think it's good that we are guaranteed an exciting Stanley Cup final.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's going to be high octane, high flying fun, no matter who the Avalanche play.
What do you guys think of John Cooper? Because I think he's easily now the best coach in the world. And his personality, he's been kind of showcasing it these playoffs. He was on pregame before last night's game with the panel on Sportsnet. And he just did like a fun little interview about like when Tampa felt they were down previously in their playoff runs. And he talked about the Islanders game where they were running 7-11 and then they had a big goal and come back and then they forced overtime and he had a giant fist bump on the bench. And he talked about that moment. I was like, this is so cool. Just a coach showcasing his personality and doing a fun interview. And I love John Cooper now.
He's had funny moments before, like he pretended to be a reporter and interviewed Steven Stamkos once.
Yeah.
And he's although I've heard that he's a really fucking tough coach. Like
I believe that. I
don't know what he's like on the day-to-day. We don't know. We know very little often until the coach is fired of what the day-to-day is actually like. Mm-hmm. Like how much did we know about Babs until Babs left and then we're like, holy crap, we know too much about Babs.
I think there's something there with John Cooper. I think there's something there because for how fun he is, there is a real lack of coverage with him. And we're like, Daryl Sutter with his one-liners that are unintentionally funny.
And his fucking built chest. Just
he is
exploding out of every shirt that he's in.
With that one flame shirt that had the V, he knew what he was doing.
He did.
He knew what he was doing.
I could see his nipples from here.
I'm here for the Daryl Sutter thirst traps. Yeah.
That's a daddy right there.
Yeah.
That's a daddy.
Cut that hay, Daryl. Daryl daddy. He knew what he was doing. Where were we going
John
with that?
Cooper.
John Cooper, I don't know why every time I see him, I feel like he's John Arbuckle in a live-action Garfield. Like it's
Don't get that reference.
You don't know who John Arbuckle
Never
is?
heard of him.
You don't know who John Arbuckle is?
I don't know who that is.
The guy who owns Garfield the cat.
Okay, I never knew that was his name.
You never knew that was...
I didn't know it was his name either.
Yeah.
What?
That's a very specific reference, and you just kind of threw it out there like everybody would understand.
For one of the most famous characters.
I know who Garfield is, and he has like a dad.
Yeah.
But I didn't know
Am I the only one?
his name. Adam, you didn't know either.
I know Odie.
Ah, yes, Odie.
Love Odie.
You knew Odie, but not John.
Well, Odie's is like partner in crime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never understood Garfield's point, though. Like, is it just that he's a fat cat and he's lazy? Like
lasagna.
where are we going with this?
I feel like
It's like Family Circus. What is this?
Yeah, those comics. Oh, and that one. They gaslit society into thinking they're funny. Like, I don't know.
You were trying to make a point about
Family
John
Circus
Cooper.
is like, oh my god, the
I don't
dog
remember
walked
what
in
it
and did
was.
something crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I'm so
Weird
thrown
to be
off by the
family.
fact you didn't know who John Arbuckle was.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Okay. So here are the 3 teams that can win the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
We got the Avs, we got the
Toronto
Lightning.
Maple Leafs.
Yeah. We got the Avs, we got the Lightning, we got the Rangers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Lightning and Rangers are still playing, their odds are far lower. Okay?
Right.
But you could get good value on one of the two of them if it hits.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you taking to win the Stanley Cup right now if you had to bet? And I'll give you the decimal points here. Sports Interaction. A 1.56 for Colorado because they're in. A 3.37 for Tampa. And a 6.32 for New York.
Wow.
Now, if the New York hits, it's killer. And I wonder what the Rangers would look like up against the Avs, although I think it's going to be the Lightning in against the Avs.
You should take the Rangers here, and I'll tell you why. I'm about to give the Lightning the kiss of death because I think they're going to win the cup.
Oh, somebody isolate this.
Kiss of death.
I think it's Colorado's year.
You do?
Yeah. I think they're too good.
It's Dallas's year too.
What?
And it's also who did the Lightning play last year? It's the Habs. Yeah, it's their year.
Who?
The Islanders beat them this time. Everyone always
What are you
thinks
talking about the Habs?
they played them in the final.
Oh, you're talking about the Lightning. I thought you were talking about the Avs.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
So let me ask you this. Who is the highest ranking non-goalie
For the Conn Smythe?
for the Conn Smythe?
I can
Highest
tell you
ranking
right now.
non-goalie.
Cale Makar.
Easily
Has to
Cale
be.
Makar.
No, sorry, on the Rangers. the highest ranking non-goalie Rangers.
Kreider?
Zibanejad.
And Jesse is correct, but check out the odds here.
My boy Mika.
A 26.89. If the Rangers win the cup, Zibanejad's got to be up there, but Shesterkin is obviously the highest rated. Even so, at an 8.85, that's solid. Those are solid odds. Solid. It's a value pick, right? What do you have nothing to lose.
Well,
Right?
there's going to be... So we talked about how the final is going to be fun.
Yes.
There's going to be goal scoring.
Yes.
Kemper and Francouz are both capable goalies, but you
Yes.
can beat them.
Yes.
Mm.
I'm just saying. Okay, so obviously the other thing that's kind of playing into the last 3 games of the series, and I'm not sure if this helps Steve's narrative about. I don't think it's a narrative. It's the truth. Tampa wins best of 3s at the end of the series.
Yep.
Braden Point is skating and potentially coming back, whereas Schertl and Strome are day to day. So the Rangers are getting less healthy. The Lightning are getting more healthy as this continues. That's going to be very interesting. I don't know where you.
This isn't even their final form. It's not fair.
No, it's not.
It's not fair.
I mean, they've earned it, so it's sort of fair.
Mm-hmm.
But
You know what's also not fair? Zach Bogosian walking Ryan Reeves.
what is up with that? What is up with that?
Yeah, that's not fair. And then you got Patty Maroon just cleaning up the mess. Like,
Guy who doesn't play every day, walking one of the best of. Like, are you kidding me?
yeah, that's when you can just whip that out 3 minutes into a game. Like, it's a little unfair.
Wait, Bogosian walked Reeves?
Yeah.
last night, and it led
Dude.
directly to a goal.
I like. Listen,
I'll
I
show you the play.
know. I know
I
Reeves
gotta see
is.
this.
I know Reeves isn't the best defensive player. But if you were gonna put a one-on-one battle that wasn't a fight between Bogosian and Reeves, who are you giving it to?
Well, there were some guys, you know what, like, we've been doing this podcast since sort of the beginning of, like, the analytics war in hockey. Hockey analytics started basically in 2007.
Okay.
I'm just watching the play now for the first time.
So we're coming up.
obviously
We're
out
coming up
last
the
night.
side. Bogosian receives the pass at the blue line, goes right around Ryan
Oh,
Reeves, dangles
dear.
in front.
Oh, dear.
Pat Maroon cleans it up. Goal, Lightning.
Yeah, that's a ew. That's a tough one.
It's dirty.
So hockey analytics kind of started in 2007. Then the real, like, war started, I want to say 2012 or 2013,
Mm-hmm.
battling back and forth. And over the years, there were some guys who got hammered in the analytics war who we overcorrected on. And Zach Bogosian was one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Still found value. Luke Schen's another one.
Luke Schenn is another one.
Still value.
That's a useful player.
Yeah.
I think it's just probably the reason that the overcorrection happened is, first off, the overcorrection is like most of them were right. They are the exceptions, not the rule. And number two, I think the roles they were drafted for and were used in, both were drafted high round picks, 5 first round picks, I believe. Wasn't Bogosian a top 5 or something?
Bogosian,
Top 10?
he was 3 or 4, either ahead of or right after Pietrangelo.
Because everybody
and then
was
Schenn
looking
right after them.
Everybody was like, "We're looking for the next Chris Pronger. We're looking for the next Chris
Yep.
Pronger. We're looking for the next Chris
That was
Pronger."
an unreal crop because it was Tavares number 1, and then the defensemen were here. Jesse,
I'll give it to you. It's not Tavares. Stamkos.
Oh, that's 08. Oh, Bogosian was 08.
So it goes Stamkos, Doughty, Bogosian, Pietrangelo, Schenn, Filatov, Colin Wilson. We kind of.
It falls off hard. Yeah, those that top 5 is something.
That 5 is Schenn, Petro, Bogosian, Doughty, Stamkos. It's not bad.
Hugely anticipated draft.
I think though it's that, like, the reason those guys survived is they were still good hockey players, but their analytics looked terrible based on the roles they were being played in. You know, the
Yeah.
Leafs saw Schenn, they're like, "There's our Chris Pronger."
Well,
And then the next year they're like, "He's not our Chris Pronger. Let's trade him for JVR," which was a good trade.
Dude, I watched him. It was a good trade. I watched him in his rookie year, and I was like, well, the good news is he's the Leafs' best defenseman. That's also the bad news.
Yes.
I did not remember that Bogosian was drafted by Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't remember that.
And I think he was a Jet for a while, and then I
Yeah.
think he was traded with Evander Kane, was he not?
Don't.
To Buffalo?
Yeah, that would make sense because he was in Buffalo. That would make sense. I don't know if it's true, but it would make sense. And that's something.
Ben Sherratt's kind of another guy who gets into that category.
Yeah.
All the outrage that happened over him getting a first-round pick to go to Florida, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, okay, that's far too much. That's way too much for Ben Sherratt, but he's useful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can use him in certain
And sometimes the
situations.
price is the price.
Yeah.
Like, you don't set the market. Like, if that's what you need to pay to get this thing, and if you think that's going to put you over the hump if you're in Florida, you got to pay it.
You would listen to the argument when it comes to Sherratt that there could have been better options to go with.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
And
100%.
or even better options that are cheaper. Now, I get that Toronto had a bit of an upper hand because Gio wanted to be here, so that's an unfair move
Yeah,
to say.
that's different.
Because that was a second round pick, and Dubas could just say, Francis could say, well, I want a second or a first rounder, and Dubas goes, too bad, I'm giving you a second.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That can happen, right?
Seattle should have worked a conditional in there, like if Gio re-signs, which we all knew he was going to. Then
I think
we
that
get
Dubas
more.
just says, no, we'll wait to re-sign him in the offseason.
Well, that was probably it.
Right?
Yeah, you're probably
So
right.
you've got that sort of leverage. But I'll listen to the argument that the Panthers didn't actually need to pay that much for him. They could have paid that much and probably gotten more, but they felt like with what Sherratt brings, and I mean, listen, am I a huge fan of Ben Sherratt's regular season game? No. But man, I saw what he did to the Leafs forwards in front of the net last year in a 7-game playoff
beat
series.
the shit of him.
And he did it all the way through the playoffs while his limbs were literally falling off his body.
Like
So,
everyone.
you know, and Florida, I think, wanted to have a really deep run. And they knew they were probably going to go up against Tampa at some point. And that was the guy that was supposed to stop the Tampa forwards from running roughshod.
You can spend a fifth on Ben Hutton and he doesn't even get in your friggin' lineup, or you could spend
A first on a guy that's going to play every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, what Tampa paid to get Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman was asinine. Asinine. They won 2 cups.
Yeah.
Like,
And everybody liked that line. And look at the contracts Coleman and Goodrow got after that.
yep. And
And look at that.
well,
Coleman's on a first place team in the West, and Goodrow's still in the playoffs.
yeah. There's no situation where it makes sense to sign either deal. They're both still there.
Pretty hard to argue. Well,
It's-
Coleman's not there, but
Well, Coleman, they won the division and they made it to the second round, which I count as good. Wonder why.
man, I can't understand why you set the bar so low.
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah. We're not good at limbo in Toronto. Ah, shit. Well, we want to get to something else?
Hiring people's always been tough. Finding good people's always been tough. Workable can help you with that. Workable helps you cast the widest possible net by posting jobs to all the top job boards. There's over 200 in total with just one click. It just reminds me of a young Steve Dangle doing part-time highlight clips at the CBC. If only Workable had existed when you were applying for jobs at like Sportsnet.
Yeah.
They would be able to find you easier. And it helps you evaluate and hire quickly with modern tools like video interviews and e-signatures. Imagine Steve's resume versus Steve the guy. A bit of a difference, right? You want to see the people in person.
Yeah. I always say.
And Workable will help you automate repetitive tasks like scheduling interviews so you can just spend your time on what's important, which is making hires. Whether you're hiring for your coffee company or your engineering team or maybe your media corporation, Workable is exactly what you need to hire the right people fast.
Post that posting for we need a new host.
One more thing, risk-free 15-day trial. If you hire during the trial, which many people do, won't cost you a thing. Workable.com, start hiring. Workable is hiring made easy. You know how passionate we are about butt fun. And that's why SeatGeek is what you need to use. Has your butt had a lot of fun lately? You've been treating it well?
I think.
Well, maybe not enough.
so.
SeatGeek is beloved by many butts because they're the highest rated ticketing app. Whether it's concerts, you're talking baseball, basketball, football, festivals. If your team is still in the playoffs, what's that like? I wonder.
I don't know.
We should use SeatGeek to go to a Jays game together.
We should.
Ooh.
That'd be nice.
SeatGeek puts tickets from all over the web in one place, and it makes it simple to buy. As Jesse said, the Jays. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so every ticket.
Why not?
SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good, red means bad, and you can get $20 off your first purchase with the promo code SDP.
Oh, it's SDP?
SDP at SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. Again, it's promo code SDP. $20 off your first SeatGeek order. The SeatGeek, get your butt in a seat. Download the app today.
Butts.
Buying a car and selling a car is already a big decision, but here's the thing. A couple of factors you got to take in right now. First off, resale value. because resale value has gone through the roof. Your car might be worth more now than when you bought it.
What?
That's actually happening, especially there's certain market segments and whatever. And then, of course, what do you get next? You want something that's environmentally sustainable. You want something that is going to get you where you need to go every single day and is reliable.
It's time to move off of the Mazda.
Yeah, maybe.
We need to get rid of the Mazda,
Well,
Steve.
I like it.
You can learn from comprehensive articles on their electric vehicle buying guide. You can read honest, in-depth reviews from their team of unbiased automotive experts. They even have EV rankings for categories such as SUVs and luxury vehicles. You can compare models side by side for details like fuel economy, ownership costs, and ratings. So if you're considering making a change on your road, Edmunds is here to help. Visit edmunds.com/appraisal to get a free online appraisal for your car today. That's edmunds.com/appraisal. Edmunds, they drive it like it is.
That Mazda's worth $1 million.
I know.
Edmonton's out despite the fact that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl combined for 65 points in the playoffs.
65. Oh, yeah, it was. Sorry,
It was
fuck.
65 points.
16 games. I've had a tough couple days.
It's okay. You're
for God's
tired.
sake.
You're tired. I mean,
Well, you know what? It's not their fault that Mikko Lehtinen finished them off.
listen.
So what happened? What happened on your live stream?
Tell us that.
Why was it the worst moment of your life?
So, well, it's a nightmare fuel scenario, and I'm going to think about it every stream going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling Game 4. It's
Overtime.
ridiculous. It's 3-1 heading into the third. There's a billion goals. It's 5-5 heading into OT, and I know the OT winner is going to be a big one. Because either Edmonton gets themselves back into the series and they score a playoff overtime winner at home, huge, or the Colorado Avalanche advance to the Stanley Cup final. And there's a rebound in front. There's a goal. And I say, there it is. The Avalanche are off to the Stanley Cup final. Mikko Lehtinen.
Ooh.
Former Leaf.
And you see it in my face. And I'm like, Mikko Lehtinen? I haven't, okay, yes, he was a former Leaf for approximately 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
You wait longer in a line at Pearson Airport than Mikko Lehtinen was a Leaf. And I haven't thought of Mikko Lehtinen for at very least months. I don't think I've said his name for a year.
I remember being excited about him.
I remember being excited about it. Dude played 9 games, Jesse just brought it up, as a Leaf.
9 games as a Leaf, and then also with Columbus that season. He only 26 career NHL games.
So it's got nothing to do with me being a Leafs guy. I've called 4 series with Arturi Lehkonen in it.
Mm-hmm.
Arturi Lehkonen, who's the actual goal scorer because he's on the fucking Avalanche. Another thing, people kept calling this my Kasperi Kapanen moment because when Austin Matthews scored the Game 4 winner against Columbus, Jim Houston accidentally said Kasperi Kapanen. At least Kapanen was on the Leafs.
And he was coming onto the ice.
Yes, and he was coming onto the ice.
That call that Houston made, he made it because he couldn't see who shot the puck.
Yes.
And he just guessed in the moment because he didn't want to not do a call. And Kapanen was right there.
My brain just overrode the correct answer and gave me the wrong one. And I don't know why. But I've called 4 series with Arturi Lehkonen in it. I did Leafs Habs last year. I skipped Habs Jets, but then I did Habs Vegas and I did Habs Lightning. And now this year I've done Oilers Avalanche. So that's, I don't know, over a dozen games with Arturi Lehkonen, not including regular season games that he's been in. It's the second straight year I've called a game where he sent his team to the Stanley Cup final with an overtime winner. And I just fucked it up.
Have you gone back and watched the call from last year's semifinals?
No.
Where you haven't.
What,
you don't-
my
your call? Did you say Arturi Lehkonen?
I hope so.
Okay, so you haven't
Now
gone
I'm
back
not
and
sure.
checked that.
No. Oh, Jesse. See, you're not used to this. When you make a on-camera fuck up, you are not eager to rewatch it.
No, not
You're
at all.
not eager to rewatch anything of yours.
Oh, I'm aware. I fucked up. Don't pretend like I haven't fucked up many times on this show.
Oh, well, that
But never on the Jesse Blake Sports Report.
Yeah.
No,
that's
it's not old enough
No one
to
watches
have too many fucks up.
Out this
No
week
one
on
watches
no
it.
one, especially with a name like that.
stupid.
How was the reaction online? Because somebody obviously clipped it as soon as you called him Mikko Lehtinen, and then there was a million quote tweets.
Instantly.
And what was the reaction like?
So what I was expecting was a flood, an absolute typhoon of get this fucking idiot Leafs fan off of these streams. And I did get a small handful of those. But for the most part, it was like, Steve, this is why I love you. That's hilarious. Don't worry about it, man. You're going to be fine. And
That's really nice.
That was nice. That was heartening. But oh man, we had 2 hot mic incidents during that series where they accidentally left my mic up. And one of them was, I go, look at that. And another was...
And it became a TikTok sound.
It became a TikTok sound.
Are people using it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look at
incredible.
that. And then the second was, I go, sorry, guys. Because I was coughing my brains out. Yeah, like that.
Sorry, guys.
And so we had to break, and I just wanted to apologize to everyone. And sure enough, it got out there. And there was 2 different producers who left my mic up. And all series long, they were like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. That's so embarrassing. And nothing they do for the rest of the playoffs will get fucking up the series winning goal. I really did start to think I was getting good at it. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I make exciting calls.
I think what happens is that
I fucked up.
it's like that Star Wars line. It's great, kid. Don't get cocky.
I got cocky.
You got a little cocky.
I got
or in the
cocky.
Family Guy, it's like, that's great, kid. Don't get penisy. Have you seen that? The Family Guy Star Wars, they do they did the full trilogy and they parody the whole movie.
Oh, no.
It's awesome. It's so good, but that's one of the lines in it.
Well,
so good. But you know what, Steve?
Oh, man.
Mistakes are okay. But here's my question.
It's a bad one, though.
The Edmonton Oilers have got a very interesting summer. Like most of the major players are locked up, and Draisaitl and Nurse's extension kicks in. Obviously the big question is going to be Evander Kane. Does he come back? He said after this series that it was the best organization he'd ever played for. Shot.
He said all the right things.
All the players were like, he came in, he did what he wanted. He did what the team asked. He was a team guy first. Connor McDavid, who just looked sour, was like,
as opposed to what?
As he should.
Yeah. And but he was. You could tell, man, that loss fucking bothered him.
Of course.
And that wasn't a shot at Connor McDavid. It's like, fuck, it sucks.
Yeah.
But he's, I don't think you're going to get Evander Kane at $1 million next year. So,
no.
He's such anyone who thinks they have a read on his market value, I think is lying.
I think it's higher than you think.
And the important
given what's
thing,
gone on. And listen, I'm with you on the whole thing about I'd be wary to sign a guy like that. But
he also currently leads the playoffs in goal scoring.
Yeah. And Jesse, what were you going to say?
The important thing about his contract before we get into where would he sign, an arbitrator still has to rule on it, and that he could be a San Jose Shark come a month from now.
No.
Yes, an arbitrator still has to rule on the contract status of Evander Kane, and the arbitrator might rule that the contract was voided invalid, and that he has to be returned to the Sharks, and that the Sharks now have to move him to a different team.
Whoa.
That's still a thing that has to play out.
Okay, if that happens that way, if you're the Kings, Flames, and less so the Avalanche, actually no, fuck that. He took out Nazem Kadri. So if you're the Kings, Flames, or Avalanche, do you not lose your mind at the fact that this dude was playing hockey for the Oilers when he shouldn't have been?
You'd be upset at the NHL for waiting on the arbitration decision till after all of this happened.
Oh, we know how speedy they are with these things.
But
with anything.
Because he's still fighting for all of his money back.
How don't we have an answer on this?
They wanted to wait.
Why?
That's Mr. Gary. I don't know who made the decision. I don't know.
When this happened, he wasn't playing hockey.
Right.
Well,
what was the delay?
I think this shit always just takes forever.
Yeah.
It's just
the legal
system.
process,
It's legal.
right?
It takes forever.
So I'm interested to see how that plays out, because if the contract rights are still maintained by San Jose, they're like, okay, you didn't have a right to invalidate his contract, you still have to honor the contract. Then that cap that he was making, that becomes his new deal. And then the San Jose Sharks have to move it. So they probably have to retain a lot of that money.
Half, at least half.
Half, 50%.
Well, sorry, you can only
That's
do
the max, the 50%. Yeah. And then somebody gets Evander Kane on sweetheart deal. Because do you have it in front of you, Adam? Is it 7?
7 over 7.
7.
It was a $49 million deal.
Yeah. Woo. So 7. So it's 3. Somebody gets Evander Kane for $3.5 million. And like this offseason, if they rule like, okay, the Sharks did have the right to invalidate the contract, I think he's signing for more than that 3.5.
I think so too.
Listen, again, Jack Roslovic just got 4. Yeah. He's getting
Yeah. And I think, and again, let me just say this, there's a lot of people out there, and I'm with you, who are like, I wouldn't want the guy on my team, given, every single organization he's left, it's been acrimonious when he's left, right? Like
EFG.
Yeah, and all the other things that are extra hockey, right? All the others, we don't need to go through the list. I mean, on a purely hockey thing, if this guy was an unrestricted free agent today without all the other stuff, this is an $8 or $9 million player a year.
Yeah, he gets an upgrade on the contract he currently has because it's pretty good for his production.
Honestly, you're not wrong. Yeah.
So the question becomes, I think that teams will probably not jump in with both feet, not every team, but I think there's some people in this league that frankly don't care. Like, you remember a couple of years ago, Slava Voinov, they was sniffing around to come back in. Yeah. And I don't want to compare the two situations because they're different, but we're talking about players with massive off-ice issues.
No, we talked about it. Like, off-ice issues, legal issues, good at hockey.
That's the one, right?
And every time something like this comes up, we watch teams wrestle with, but he's good at hockey.
And the thing is with him, it always starts well. Like, all we heard out of San Jose was, man, what a great team guy he is. Scores a lot of goals. He's playing great. Man, Marleau and Joe Thornton really have changed him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, at the end of the second pandemic season, they're like, well, we can't, you got star players going to the GM's office saying, we cannot play with this person.
Yeah. Yeah. Led the playoffs in scoring. Good at hockey.
Interesting. Something else. Shocker. Right after our episode ended, actually, on Monday.
Oh,
Bruce.
Well,
sorry, you want to keep going?
We didn't even talk about Draisaitl or Nurse.
Oh, right. Yeah, we should talk about Draisaitl and Nurse. So Draisaitl had the high ankle sprain. Sorry, I forgot.
No, it's all good. There's lots going on.
That was officially announced. So I don't know enough about high ankle sprains to know if they would require surgery, but we do know that it affects your skating. In his case, that must have been a hell of a sprain.
It at least requires you to not fucking play anymore. Dude, I've never seen a performance like that. I haven't. I've never seen a player in as much pain visibly, and I've never seen a player succeed through the pain like him. He had 4 points in game 4. How the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he struggled to the bench at the end of every single shift. He was doubled over. He was falling over. Every time he got up, it looked like it cost him something.
Yeah.
And then Darnell Nurse, who took so much shit and, he didn't have a very good series. Torn hip flexor? How?
He didn't have a great playoffs.
And you can see why.
Torn hip flexor. Yeah. I didn't know. I've never, oh my God. Like, just all of it gruesome.
Sounds pretty gross too, right? Like there's something about hearing torn hip flexor that makes you go, ooh.
Well, and your hip like it's in the front, goes around to the back. God, like I don't know how he played through that.
The Draisaitl high ankle sprain was suffered during a tussle with Los Angeles Kings defenseman Mickey Anderson in Game 6 of Round 1. So since Game 6 versus the Kings, he's been playing with that.
So then there was Game 7. There was the entire Battle of Alberta, and then the series against the Avs.
You're supposed to rest your ankle.
That's fucking guts right there.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. That's just guts.
Well, and I wanted to say this on the stream. Everything we were ever told about European European-born players, like growing up and everything, and they're not as tough as us, and they're not as... Dude.
Bullshit.
It's the one of the most gutsy performances I've ever seen.
Well, but remember, at the time that those views were being espoused, it was one person echoing the views of a bunch of Canadians and came into being a broadcaster when Boreas Salming was at his height. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like you're just not just tell me you're not watching the game.
Yeah, well, or you're just not taking in the evidence of your eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Like we've seen these performances over and over and over again over the years. And this is the most hardcore one. And, you know, there's going to be people saying we shouldn't be glorifying this. I hear you. But
I don't think we are. I think we're saying that's crazy.
yeah, I'm not really saying good for Leon Draisaitl.
Right.
But I am saying, holy shit. I think it's okay to just look at something and say,
and I think
holy
it's important to acknowledge. I said gutsy. I think it's important to acknowledge that these players believe it's important.
You wanted to play.
So, you know, if you think it's better for them to sit, totally you're entitled to that opinion.
Leon doesn't.
But Leon doesn't. And I think it takes guts to play through that kind of pain. I think it does.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Listen,
and
do I
Nurse.
think it's a good idea that Patrice Bergeron played with a punctured lung? No. I don't think that's a good idea.
That one's fucked.
But it was important to Patrice Bergeron, right?
Yeah, and like
he made the choice.
Something about one of your organs as a whole in it.
It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
These-
I don't
maybe
know.
not play.
these guys, they value this in their life to the extent that they're willing to play through these injuries. Like, it's not up to us to say what they should value and what they shouldn't. They've worked their whole lives to get to the NHL level, and they say, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to play through this injury. And if a doctor medically clears me and says I can do that, then I'm going to.
Now, I would like to have a conversation with the doctor who medically cleared somebody with a punctured lung to play hockey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we need to acknowledge, and also we need to qualify these things because people automatically assume the worst. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to these players and their injuries, like, yeah, play with a torn hip flexor.
If you want.
I guess.
It makes Darnell Nurse's performance this playoffs makes a whole lot more sense.
Yes.
Of course.
You could see he played with a torn hip flexor at some moments, you know?
And it makes
Wasn't his
11-7
best.
make a lot more sense, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
11-7 make a lot more sense because, you know, you're down this forward, that forward, that forward. I'm like, guys, are you sure about this whole 11-7 thing? Oh, wait, your best one has a torn hip flexor.
Yep.
Unreal.
I want to talk to you. I do want to talk about Bruce Cassidy getting fired in Boston here because we got a couple
Yes,
big guests
of
coming
course.
up. So Bruce Cassidy fired, and what was interesting about this is that like this guy 2 years ago, like pre-pandemic, took them to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. He walked Mike Babcock's teams off the ice 2 seasons in a row that we saw as Leaf fans. You have to understand that's the thing we relate to the most. But like when the Bruins beat the Leafs in those series, they didn't just beat them. Most of the time, it felt like they were hammering.
Dude, I feel like as Leaf fans, we get a special opinion on Bruce Cassidy getting fired because, like, as a person, I feel bad that this person who is a good NHL coach and grew up cheering for the Boston Bruins was fired as the head coach of the Boston Bruins. That's how I feel as a person. As a Leafs fan, where's the nearest LCBO? Let's pop bottles. Like,
It's good for us.
The team that has caused the Leafs so many nightmares over the Leafs just fired one of the best coaches in the league for no good reason. Hooray.
Well,
Literally hooray.
Unless the reason is they thought Barry Trotz was the guy.
Bruce Cassidy's in that tier, is he not?
I thought he would have earned that. Maybe is there a disagreement between Don Sweeney and Cam Neely? I almost called him Don Neely.
Based on what Don Sweeney said, I 100% understand the firing because it sounds like Sweeney lost the room. Says
You mean Cassidy lost her?
Cassidy lost the room. Sweeney said during his press conference, he said, I felt both the message and how it was being delivered, and more importantly, maybe how it was being received. Young and old, players felt they were very well prepared, but young and old, at times, they struggled. Sometimes that's the voice in their head. Cassidy lost the room with the guys.
Did he,
What
or
was
did they
saying-
not replace the core? Did they not adequately replace the core that they had in 2011 that they rode for 10 years? Is it that he lost the room, or did they? You know, Zdeno Chara is gone. Tuukka Rask is gone. David Krejci is gone. They've had some good pickups. Charlie Coyle and Taylor Hall and that sort of. But you watched a lot of players walk out the door. So Jesse, I'm not taking issue with what you said, but I'm questioning. You know, like and Jake DeBrusk requesting a trade, and then they sort of brought him back into the fold. And the fact that you had 11, 12, and 13 in a draft, and only one of those players is currently playing for you. Like, I wonder, is this? I mean, is it the team? Did he lose the room, or is the team just not as good?
No, I look at the roster and I say that's a roster full of great guys who could make the playoffs, and that he didn't get them up to where they should be.
Second line center Eric Holla. That's a tough one, man.
Look at the wingers around them. They're elite.
Great wingers. Second line center Eric Holla. It's not a championship.
It's not. And the other thing I would say is that doesn't mean that they're not a second round or a third round team.
Nope.
And I'm so glad that Boston has high standards. That's amazing. But what I do want to ask is this, and I didn't watch enough Boston games to know. Sometimes you get a coach, and we saw this with Dwayne Casey with the Raptors, where they have a system, it works really well, and then somebody figures out their system, especially in a 7-game series, and they don't adjust the system. I have heard Bruins fans complain about that a little bit, and I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. Maybe they didn't see this team as a Stanley Cup winning team, but maybe they did think, well, we certainly didn't perform to our level.
Well, and that's the mission, though, is winning the cup. And we look at them and go, why would you do that? It's a really good team. It's an extremely good team. And the Bruins are looking at it like, yeah, but it's not going to win a cup. So we're going to change it up. We're going to get a different coach. I would imagine they're going to get a coach who's... Ideally, you would get a coach known for developing players. And I think they might rebuild here a little bit. Or at very least, tinker.
Retool?
Retool, yeah, it could be a retool. Like watching them fully tear it down would be unexpected, but you're heading into an off season where there's rumors of Pastrnak getting traded. I don't think I believe that, because if you're looking to get better in the future, I don't see how you get better trading David Pastrnak. Marchand's going to miss the first little bit with injury. Bergeron might not be back at all. McAvoy's going to miss the first little bit with injury. I think Grzelcyk and
Mike Riley.
Mike Riley, thank you very much. First of all, that's like half your defense.
Yeah.
And your most significant winger who isn't David Pastrnak.
So here's what I find hard about that, though, and I apologize, Jesse. If they're going to retool, Foligno just got a 4-year deal, didn't he?
Yeah, but that was last year's decision.
And Hampus Lindholm, trade deadline, 8-year extension.
Foligno's deal was 4 years.
I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, Nick Foligno is a UFA after next season.
Are you thinking Marcus?
Maybe that's what I thought.
Okay.
But Hampus Lindholm, 8-year contract
That's
extension.
a great player who's 28. You know, the back end of those contracts are never ideal, but you're paying for 28 through 33.
Right, so that doesn't say rebuild to me.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
see,
what I'm saying.
I don't
though,
see rebuild. I think that's why this firing is. Hey, we're still trying to compete. We need to get better, and we need to get better quickly. And this guy that we have right now isn't getting these players to play at 100% of their potential. We need somebody else who can do that.
Man, I'm looking at the cap friendly page that you have up. Not a ton of UFAs this year. A shitload next year.
Yeah,
I think it's one more year. We got to go for it. We haven't got a choice here.
Yeah. And if Bergeron, you'll see if Bergeron's back. Maybe you get him for one more time. Sign him to a 1-year deal and do it one more time.
Last ride. Yeah, because next year I think it's Hamster Huey and the Gooey Kablooey.
Yeah,
that's
what? I've never heard of that before.
I think it's a fictional book from the Calvin and Hobbes universe.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at their highest paid players here. So Pastrnak obviously is the highest paid on the forwards. But I want to run you just through the ages. Marchand, 34. Hall, 30. Coyle, 30. DeBrus, 25. Foligno, 34. Smith, 32. Holla, 31. Nosek, 29. Wagner, 31. A lot of threes. Their defense looks a little better. McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo, and Grzelcyk are at least 28, but the other two are 24 and 25, so that's all right. But I mean, yeah, they've got some decisions to make it forward.
Young and net.
Yeah. And Linus Ullmark's...
That's good. Your goaltending is too good to be bad. Yeah, they're going to be a fascinating one to watch this offseason because people are talking rebuild. Nah, it's not a rebuild.
So if Cassidy's not the guy, who's the guy?
Man, I have no idea because...
it doesn't seem like a Trotz team, does it?
Well, Trotz is really good at squeezing blood from a stone and getting the most out of teams that, like, let's be honest. When that team takes the ice, unless they make some significant moves this offseason and add some big guys in free agency, the roster on paper is going to be underwhelming. Like, we're going to look at them and we're not going to expect very much of them. And Barry Trotz took a team that on paper should have finished last and dragged them to the playoffs.
And had a great end to the year. They didn't start well, but they had a great end.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm talking when he joined the Islanders.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
sorry.
they should have been under the basement they were garbage.
Yep.
And look at what happened to them. To me, Trotz to Winnipeg is a foregone conclusion. I think it's happening. But like I need to know what the Bruins are thinking to figure out who the replacement for Cassidy is going to be, because to me, it didn't make sense to fire him in the first place, and I'm having trouble wrapping my head around making the Bruins better without him.
What did you say about the Bruins second line center? You don't like it?
I don't like it.
What's a team that works their way to the Stanley Cup final with a very underwhelming name at first line center?
The Montreal Canadiens. Well, no, Danault's pretty good.
Vegas Golden Knights, ladies and gentlemen. Pete DeBoer.
Oh,
New head coach of the Boston Bruins. That's what my guess is.
Interesting.
Did Vegas hire a replacement for him?
No, they're still on the list of teams that need coaches.
Bruce Cassidy to Vegas.
A little swappy
Oh,
swaps.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Something. I still think in terms of what team Barry Trotz could do the most with, I still think it's Vegas. But I think he just
That's Winnipeg.
Yeah, from a life standpoint, he wants to go home.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you?
By the way, Gerard Gallant fans, everybody in PEI is screaming at you, Jesse, right now, because it was Gerard Gallant that took them to the finals, I believe. And then
Pete
Pete
wasn't
DeBoer.
there. Yeah.
I just don't want to piss off Prince Edward Island. You know how mad they get.
You know what's really funny? Adam said that, and I pointed at Jesse. I went, "Oh shit, you're right." I pointed at Jesse. My bad. Oh shit, you're right.
He
Western Conference
19,
Finals or whatever.
The 1920-21.
Yes.
It was 3 years or 2 years he was there.
2.5.
Vegas
took over halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Vegas has like the storied legacy of a team that's been around for 50 years, and this is like what 5, 6.
Yeah. The list of teams, by the way, that need a coach: Vegas, Philly, Boston, Dallas, Winnipeg, Detroit.
If you're Philly,
Technically Edmonton, but
if you're
that's not
Philly,
true.
That's who you throw your wallet at.
well, no, for sure. But if you're Philly, name those teams one more time, Jesse.
Vegas, Philly, Boston, Dallas, Winnipeg, Detroit.
Of all the teams on that list, the team I would want to coach least is the Philadelphia Flyers.
Man.
They are a fucking mess. The rest of those teams, you could do something with. But if you're the coach like that, that is straight. And no offense to the guy, because he coached the Lightning and he coached the Senators and was almost the Leafs coach until the Leafs got Babcock. You know who I'm talking about.
Guy Boucher.
I think Guy Boucher. Guy Boucher to me screams Flyers. Because Guy Boucher is a better coach than people give him credit for, and he's coming back into the league somewhere.
Guy Boucher,
and I don't think Trotz or Cassidy wants to manage whatever the hell the Flyers are doing.
one of Guy Boucher's most embarrassing moments as an NHL coach happened in Philly.
What happened?
That was against Philly. That was remember that game when Guy Boucher was the Lightning coach and the Lightning would not cross the offensive blue line when the Flyers had the puck? So the Flyers just stood there?
Yes.
They just stood there with the puck. And they did it several times. The fans kept booing them, and oh, they're going to love them in Philly. The reason I was pinching the bridge of my nose is I figured out where Bruce Cassidy's going, and it's going to work really well, and it's going to be extremely
Are
frustrating.
we going to hate this or are we going to like this?
Well, because you know what? Good coach leaves the division. Good news for the Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to Detroit.
I got another name for you.
Yzerman's going to scoop him up. They even talk alike and look alike.
What do you got, Jesse?
Who's your pick for Detroit?
Cassidy.
Oh, okay. No. Steve, are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious as a heart attack.
Sergei Fedorov is getting a lot of play as the new head coach of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now,
He's coaching the KHL, isn't he?
there's a Vegas sportsbook that's setting him at the best odds to be the next head coach of the Detroit Red Wings. And there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors that Yzerman and Fedorov have been talking. This is Yzerman's first choice as a new head coach since he became GM of the Red Wings. And his resume is decent. GM of CSKA Moscow. And then he was head coach of the KHL team last season. And the rumor is he wants to transition to the NHL and get a job.
Whoa.
And the rumor is that Yzerman, his buddy, wants to give him the head coach of the Detroit Red Wings. They don't know how it's going to play out, but there's been discussions.
Here's what needs to happen, though. If Fedorov's going to do that, he is only allowed to take the ice in his white Nike skates from the late 90s.
Yes.
The all-white Nike skates. You all remember what I'm talking about with the big swoosh on them that everybody wanted. I don't even know if they were good quality skates. Doesn't matter. He has to wear them.
And then Nike bailed out of hockey apparel.
Yeah.
Or hockey equipment.
Or because they're Bauer now, Nike Bauer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in typical Avs versus Red Wings fashion, Patrick Waugh gets behind the bench and he goes, I'm changing the game. I'm pulling the goalie with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes to go because I don't give a shit and I got the biggest balls in the world. And then Fedorov joins the head coaching world in typical Detroit fashion and does it even better. He goes, I'm pulling the goalie in overtime. That's what he got a reputation for this year in the KHL. We talked about that, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, you know what? If we get an offensive zone draw, pulling the goalie in overtime, and damn it if it didn't work more than once. You absolute mad lad, Sergei Fedorov. You know what? Give me full chaos.
Russian hockey player as a head coach isn't the worst thing, too, because apparently the way the Russians coach is they skate you. Yeah. So I would expect, because we haven't had a lot of Russian coaches in North America. Have we had any? I'm sure we've had a couple. I can't name any right now.
None I can think of.
So that's fucking weird too, right? But if we had a guy like Fedorov, who was known for his playmaking, known for his skating, he was unbelievable at everything. I mean, I feel like
didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. Any team that's under Fedorov's going to skate. And I wonder if you see like a team like Detroit who can skate you into the ground anyway, just kind of take a step on that if he goes after it. That would be very cool. I would love to see him.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, yeah, our team used to have past glory, and we got a former player as the GM and a former player as the coach, and we got some former players in scouting, and you just got to be careful.
Like, you don't want to build the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, they just went to the third friggin' round.
That's true.
Yeah. It's maybe you do want to build the Edmonton Oilers. And who's there? Ken Holland, Detroit. All they do is piss excellence. God damn it, Hockeytown, USA. Let's go. Minnesota, never heard of them. Yeah, you know what? I had Bruce Cassidy going there. No. Sign me up for the chaos model.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Yes.
Fedorov to Detroit.
Absolutely. Oh, Steve Yzerman loves going, what do you think? Yeah, okay, cool. Fuck what you think. Like, I remember Moritz Seider was a stupid pick at 6. Everyone was like, "What? That's so far off the board. What are you thinking?" Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
I once again, I will take from the chaos menu, Michael Bunting. But it's probably going to be Seider, let's be honest.
Lastly, before we get into, obviously Harrison Browne is on today. Marie-Philippe Poulin, hired as a consultant by the Habs. And I feel like this is going to be, she could do whatever she wants after this is over. But why would you not?
Well, like, the Habs have been relentless in their pursuit of getting her in the organization. And there has not been a fit for her. Like she said, I think she wants to play for 3 or 4 more years. Ooh.
Another Olympics?
Olympics. I will take that.
She signed up for the next Olympic cycle. She's trying to do it in 4 years.
God.
Yeah.
Excellent. Maybe play in a league, you never know. But this gets her involved with the Montreal Canadiens immediately. I don't want to call it an apprenticeship, but it's very obviously, I don't know the proper term, a warm-up job for something bigger later.
I think in the release it said part-time position.
It is. It does say that.
Yeah.
Part-time player development consultant.
They made it very clear that MPP is a very busy person, that hockey's still number one, and that if we want to get her into this organization, we need to give her a part-time position.
The most storied franchise in the sport is bending over backwards to get her into the fold. And I don't think people understand the gravity of Marie-Philippe Poulin, the gravitational pull.
I think sometimes with art, the artist is only appreciated after the career. In actual high art, it's like, well, they're dead. Marie-Philippe Poulin is not. I know that's hilarious, but she's not going to be appreciated until 10 years from now, the way she should be.
I love it.
That's a serious thing. That is what it is.
No, I actually kind of think she's a rare example of a player whose greatness is being acknowledged while they're still playing.
You think proportional to her greatness?
No, probably not.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is that
what about Van Gogh?
I mean, we never are.
Van Gogh.
Well,
you see,
you
see.
Adam made a great point.
Great point, Adam.
It was okay. I'll be honest. It wasn't the greatest point I've ever made. Might be top 10 bad ones. But the point I'm trying to say is
Adam,
that
no, it's not.
I think sometimes in hindsight,
There's lots more about
we
it.
didn't realize how good we had it.
Right.
And I think that's what's going to be happening with MPP is that as she transitions into a management role or player development, player development's still management. Whatever it is she wants to be, she can be. But I don't know if we're going to appreciate her on the ice until like 10 years from now. We're like, holy shit, look at all those records.
Yeah, it is. She does have one of the most cast iron resumes there are. I mean,
Well, how many goals was it at the last like Olympics or something, like, or championship games? It was like of the last 10, like 10 goals scored, she had like 7 or 8 of them or something.
It was like the last 6 game-winning goals.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
something
Like, what?
even stupider than you could even imagine.
2010, Canada won the gold medal 2-0. She had both goals,
Mhm.
and that was how many Olympics ago? Like, dude, yeah, she's spectacular. And the Habs, you know, it's supposed to be. That's where you bust your ass and after years of sacrifice, get your dream job. And they're the ones endlessly pursuing her. I think that should give everyone pause. If you didn't know, now you know.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Are we, for the first time in the history of this podcast, seeing the Montreal Canadiens management group become likable?
I would say that this probably doesn't come to pass if Bergeron's still there, and that this is been spearheaded by Kent Hughes, and we should applaud him for doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think if Bergevin was still there, it would be, you have to agree with me or I won't hire you. That's sort of how he ran things.
And Jeff Gorton, with the Rangers doing so well, a lot of Habs fans are looking at that and they're like, well, he built that team. Everyone's talking about the Zibanejad trade. I wonder who made that trade. Go Ranger, not you, as they point at Chris Kreider. Go Ranger, not you. How dare you? Screw you forever. It's an interesting. I mean, we did it when the Leafs were finishing last. We're like, all right, what that we're not involved in can we take pride in? And they found it.
That we listen. There was some dark times. We had to hold on to some stuff.
Yeah, if the Rangers hoist the cup, you get to go yay and go like this and just cover your face when Chris Kreider hoists it, and then yay.
If Montreal Canadiens fans are looking back on like this season, they have a lot to be happy about in terms of what Gorton and Hughes have done. Like they've had a very impressive quick rebuild here. Like tanking is, as we all know, tanking's a slog, and you got to take pride in everything. And I think there's a lot to be happy about if you're a Canadiens fan going into this offseason.
Habs MVP this season, Andrew Berkshire. The fact that he was able to get through this entire damn season doing a video after every game, it's not too easy, is it? No,
St. Louis also not head coach yet.
No.
No, they just signed him, didn't they?
Oh,
did they?
that deal
Then
came
after?
through?
Just, yeah,
Shit, I missed that too.
Dude, there's been
Like days ago.
There's been an avalanche of news. You see, because they made it to the Stanley Cup final. No, they just locked up Thunder Thighs there.
Oh, 1 week ago. Yeah, I missed
Yeah,
that.
God.
Pen to paper on a 3-year contract.
The god of quad.
There you go.
Yeah. Yo, that's fucking leg day. You got it. Look it up. Look up Martin St. Louis legs. Just do it.
I think everyone's seen that photo.
Have they?
Well,
I still think it's worth looking up.
go look at it
If you
again.
haven't seen that photo, tweet us and let us know.
Make it the background on your computer.
So we are going to bring on. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, it'll remind you to stand up every 15 minutes.
Here you go. Here it is,
Look at that
everybody.
shit. Look at that shit.
Martin
Is it on the screen?
Yes, it is.
His shorts don't need to be hiked up like that. He knows what he's doing. They don't need to, right? Why?
It looks like
I
his.
see your tan line. What the fuck are they doing up there?
It looks like his quads are going to eat his kneecap. It looks like they're like a slowly going to devour the rest of his leg. That's how thick they are.
His knees look like the aliens from Mars Attacks. Remember?
Yes.
It's with
Yes.
the giant.
It doesn't look real.
He looks like an Olympic cyclist.
Yeah.
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 Crazy.
Now I'm not
Crazy.
going to be able to unsee it. Someone please Photoshop the aliens from Mars Attacks onto Martin St. Louis quads.
Harry. Okay, so we got a couple of great guests today. Harrison Browne, obviously, in celebration of Pride Month, and obviously talking about a little bit about Harrison's story and where we still need to go. So that's coming up right now. And then right after that, Sid Seixeiro is coming on. And it's funny, we were talking about the Canada soccer issue. Sid has been all over this, and I know
Calm,
he's
cool, and collected.
yeah, of course, as he's known to be, chomping at the bit, I think, to talk about it. And he happens to be on vacation this week, so he's coming on our show to talk about it. So we're so excited. So have a listen and enjoy. Athletic Greens. You've heard us talk about it. Better gut health, more energy, stronger immune system. You don't have to have that weird pill bottle that your girlfriend puts together for you, TJ. Sorry. I was making fun of TJ.
Yeah, it's TJ. It's just him.
Just him. It couldn't be Steve.
No.
Could be. Does Mrs. Dangle put one together for you?
I mean,
We do these Athletic Greens every week. I'm embarrassed.
I'm not a smart guy.
Listen, here it is, okay? It contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals. It supports better sleep quality and recovery for Steve, who's staying up late. It supports mental clarity and alertness, and it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. It's all good with Athletic Greens. Now, this is the chance that you have to reclaim your health. We're coming off the end of cold and flu season. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. You can avoid a little bit of that. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/SDP. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/SDP. Take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. What do you do when you have cravings?
Eat.
What do you eat?
Food.
Is it good for you food, though?
No.
That's what I thought. This is why you need Magic Spoon, Steve. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's only 140 calories, keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low carb. And you get to build your own box. 9 different flavors. Steve, can I recommend blueberry muffin?
Oh, that
Yes.
sounds good.
Yes.
Blueberry muffin is one of the flavors.
What about cinnamon roll?
That's good too. That's pretty
What
good.
about peanut butter?
I like all those things.
Listen, go to magicspoon.com/SDP to grab a custom bundle of cereal. And be sure to use the promo code SDP at checkout for $5 off your first order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's back with a 100% happiness guarantee. Almost like if the Leafs win the cup. You got to be that happy, okay? So if, for any reason, you don't like it, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/SDP. Use that promo code SDP to save $5 off. And thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. Here's the thing about Manscaped.
What?
Our ads are a bit notorious with Manscaped, but you know that it's head to toe cleaning.
Balls.
Well, that is middle.
Oh, head to balls to toe.
Sure.
Okay.
If you, it's almost like adding an extra stop on your GPS. But if you start at the top, you can go with their 2-in-1 shampoo, and then you can use their body wash, which has aloe vera and sea salt, and then you can protect yourself with the body odor with the aluminum-free deodorant under the pits. And also you can use their refined cologne, which is nice. And if you've got tattoos and dry skin, hey, they've got a moisturizer and something for those sexy lips of yours, Steve. Lip balm with a matte finish to keep them from looking shiny. All of these products, by the way, and this matters, cruelty-free, paraben-free, dye-free, vegan, and each product is infused with their refined cologne so you smell good. Right? Now, you already know the promo code's Dangle. You don't need me to tell you that it's 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use the promo code Dangle. But I'm going to tell you anyway.
That's such a good deal. We don't talk about that enough.
20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with Manscaped shower routine. Welcoming on Harrison Browne, who I don't think, I haven't personally seen Harrison since we played hockey at the Easter Seals tournament. Was that 2019 in the fall?
2020.
Right.
in the
I
fall.
carried our line, if I remember
Or
correct.
2019.
2019, because 2020 was
2020 's pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm great. I'm still thinking about Steve's breakaway. No, was it the shootout goal?
Penalty shot.
Yeah,
the penalty shot.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
it was an amazing goal. It was amazing.
Good.
I remember Lindros turning to us and being like, "Your friend's really good," and pointing at you, Harrison.
Yeah. Harrison, before we get into anything important, let's talk about the most important thing that you're here to talk about, which is when I texted you this morning to firm up the interview plans, you sent me a picture and it was of a cat. And the cat had a leash on it. And Harrison said, "I hope that you don't mean right now." You walk your cat?
Yeah. It was the second time I took him to Hyde Park. And yeah, it was quite great.
Does he move? Because, okay, I have a cat. My girlfriend has a leash for the cat, like a harness, and the cat just army crawls and that's it.
It's weird. So I have a Bengal, so I don't know if that like means anything about the harness thing, but he purrs when I put it on and he walks totally fine. Yeah, there was no like this kind of thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You and Jack Campbell are the only people I've ever heard of walking a cat. I've never seen this outside of you two.
I'll send you a pic.
Oh, it's okay. Cute cat too. All right. So listen, Harrison, obviously, you've talked about this so many times before, but there is so much to celebrate during Pride Month. Your story we've heard, but for people that haven't, obviously, you're one of the first people, I think, in hockey that took a prominent role in terms of being a trans hockey player that Canadians could see. And I think the visibility part of that is key. I've always been curious about you walking into that decision and going, I'm going to do this, and this is who I am, and what your fears would have been before all of this happened. Because I think, from anybody that I talk to about it comes with a severe amount of anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had come out to my teammates before. Like I played women's hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So the dressing room and the environment in women's hockey is very LGBTQ plus friendly. Like the majority of my teammates, like not the majority, but half and half are pretty much gay and straight. So it was a pretty open space for me to explore my gender identity in that way. So it was coming out to the public in 2016 through an ESPN article that was nerve-wracking. But I knew that I'd have the support of my teammates, so that was great. But I really wasn't sure. I think hockey as a whole has some problematic tendencies. There's been homophobic language that's been thrown out in games. There hasn't been I don't think there has been one publicly out. There was no publicly out trans players, but yeah, I was really nervous. But I was pleasantly surprised. Like I had a lot of support, and the league like lifted me up. The fans were amazing. So I was scared because I hadn't seen anybody do it before, but I was pleasantly surprised at how welcoming the whole hockey community was to me.
And when you're dealing with that, because it's hard enough to go through in your normal life, but you've got obviously the public sort of watching, and then we have you on for things like this. You become an official or unofficial spokesperson for other people, and obviously there's good sides to that, right? Because there could be kids watching this right now who felt the same way you did and are exploring that right now. But the other thing is that you have to do a lot of speaking like you're doing right now. And I've always, so when I messaged Harrison, I wanted to say, like, listen, no pressure. I know you get pulled in a million different directions. But when you look at what's happened since 2016 to now, do you feel like there has been tangible, positive movement and positive change in this area in hockey culture as a whole? And I'm not just talking about women's hockey. I'm talking about the men's game and the NHL specifically.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that there has been, well, not agree, but I think there has been movement in the right direction in hockey. Absolutely. I think since I came out, every single team has had a Pride Night in the NHL. Since I came out, there was a trans woman that came out in the CWHL. Jessica Platt. There's been a few gay players that have been drafted that have come out. There's players like Curtis Gabriel that are huge allies that have pride tape on their stick every single game. So I think there has been a lot of positivity. It's not where it needs to be quite yet, because we still do see, we still hear people dropping like the F-bomb and homophobic language. We still see some people scared to come out in dressing rooms. But I do see some really great positivity, and the NHL has done some really great things to show their support for the community. So absolutely. And
I guess the question now is obviously, where does hockey culture need to go? Because we do see the poisonous side. We see it in the fans. Obviously, I don't know if it's fair to say, and you could tell me if you think it's fair. Do we see it less from the players, or is it just less open? Less out in the open, I suppose. And what do we need to do as allies to say, okay, how do we further this? How do we make this continually make this better, continually make this more inclusive?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, the place that needs the most progress, I would say, is the fan base. I would say that the ton of the negativity that you see is people online trying to hold on to this hockey culture that has been from the past. So I think that that's the biggest thing, and I think that the thing that the NHL or any hockey place needs to show is leading by example. So I think the more that we have Pride nights, the more that we need more players like Curtis Gabriel coming out. We need more players wearing Pride tape. We need more players sticking up for their LGBTQ plus fans. So I think that activation in the grassroots would be where it needs to change.
And it's interesting that you say that, because here's the thing, everybody talks about, well, I wish an NHL player would come out, because that there are players playing today that are. I wish a player would come out. And I think you touched on a really good point there. The fan bases are the negativity that you see, especially online, and the pile on, negativity that we see. And we've seen it in the comment section, guys. We know, what we're talking about, right? That could be the part of the reason why people just don't want to do it. And, it's hard enough to stay in the NHL without having people just attack you for who you are, right? I can understand why. So I wanted to ask you this. Is it that we need a player to come out and set the example at the NHL level? Or is it that we need fan bases and fans to get with the times to allow that space for people to be more comfortable?
I think we need both.
Okay.
I think we need both. Because when I came out, the only fear that I had, I wasn't worried about not being able to play. I wasn't worried about what my teammates would think. I think that is a case on the men's side. But I was worried about how I was going to be received by the public. But I think when I came out and people could put a face to a term, like the term transgender wasn't just something in the ether anymore. Like you could actually look to see a transgender person. You could actually hear my voice. You could see my stats. You could watch interviews with me, and I was really humanized. So I think that really helped the hockey community to see a trans player and be like, Harrison Browne, great. I was like the fan vote of the NWHL All-Star game. My jersey was the top selling jersey in the league. Like I was with like Hillary Knight and Amanda Kessel. Like we were the top 3 jerseys. I was like, what? So I think when we could have a prominent gay player in the NHL, then I think the fan base will be like, I can look to this person. They could be an icon. They could be an idol to these kids. And they'd be like, this isn't a gay player. Like this is my favorite player. So I think once we can humanize the term, the easiest way to do it is by sharing stories. So I think it's a twofold sort of thing.
Okay. That's fair.
We've talked about some of the like negative reception and negative reaction. What have been some of your favorite interactions with anybody since 2016?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've had so many. I think coming out in the age of social media, I've had so many amazing messages from parents of trans kids, parents of LGBTQ plus kids, like saying that they support their kid. I love getting those types of messages. But my favorite interaction, I love all my interactions. I thank you to everybody that's reached out to me. But someone that's really special to my heart is my buddy Peyton. I met him when I came out. He was a Boston fan, and you know how crazy Boston fans are.
Yes.
Like there's no way that they would cheer for anybody that's not from Boston. And he came up to me when I was playing the championship in Boston, and he told me that he was trans. His mom came over. He gave me this bracelet, and he put this trans bracelet through the glass, and I wore it in the game. And every time I came to Boston, I would talk to him after the games, and we started our physical transition at the same time. So we've like kind of grown together and become like men. He has this huge beard now. But we still keep in contact to this day. And yeah, he's like the little brother that I never had. And yeah, he's really, really special. The first interaction that we had actually was he had a piece of paper that he plastered on the glass during our warm-ups. And it was a picture that he drew of me in the trans colors, and it said hero on it. And then it had like the definition of hero, and I still have the picture. I should grab it, but yeah, it's really special. The bond that we have.
That's pretty dark.
How do you play a game after seeing that?
Yeah.
I know my contacts are falling out.
Hey, Harrison. So okay, we got 3 teams left. 3 teams left in the NHL. Who do you think? I'm gonna put you on the spot and make you pick a winner right now. Who wins the cup?
The Leafs.
Fuck yeah!
Correct answer.
Wow.
Yeah. Well done.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Avalanche.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I'm
Okay,
gonna do it.
because we're pretty sure. I feel like Tampa's getting in. I know it's 2-2, but I feel like Tampa's getting in. So even if it doesn't matter which team, why are the Avs over either of those teams? And Tampa is like the unstoppable force right now.
I know. I don't know. I really like what Nathan McKinnon's doing. I would love. Tampa's had it twice in a row, you know. Like I think it's time. I love an underdog. I just think there's a lot of fire, and to have going in off of a sweep, I think you're riding a high. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. You could be a little bit too cocky with it, but I think they know what they're doing. So I say Avalanche.
Maybe.
We underestimate how difficult it is to three-peat.
Yes.
You know, just the feet alone is that's a burden on Tampa.
I don't know if there's any way to really state it, right? Like I think no matter what, you're going to underestimate, because I don't think, you know, that sort of mental grueling, especially with the pandemic, right? With all of the missed games and the rescheduling and playing in the middle of the summer, and then, you know, not playing till January and all the way till, you know, mid last July and then this July. I don't know. It would be amazing if they could do it. All right. So Harrison, one more thing. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who, if it's the Avalanche, who gets the Stanley Cup winning goal?
Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
That's the answer.
You know what? Okay, since that was a short one, I want one.
Oh, no.
You got a growing IMDb page, man. What are you working on?
Yes.
Very cool.
Oh, what am I working on? Right now, I'm actually writing my own pilot. So yeah. Because like, it's hard. You get so many auditions and then you don't hear anything, and it's just kind of depressing. So I'm like, okay, well, why don't I just cut out the middleman and write my own thing? So I'm in the process of that, submitting that to like festivals and things. But yeah. I've had a couple things in the fire. I did one audition that I had. I auditioned for Marty McFly to play him in a documentary. So I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't get it.
See it. I see it.
I do.
I see it too. That's incredible.
Can we hear a little about the pilot that you're writing, or is that confidential?
It's not necessarily confidential. So I'm writing it. It's based off of me. The lead character is my own name. I just was like, you know, I'm just going to do it. I like the name Harrison. I chose it. I'm going to do it. It's actually him. He's a movie star, and he's like dating his co-star, but they break up because his co-star, I don't know if this will land, but his co-star is queer, and it's with Harrison. And Harrison, being a trans man, a visible man in society, kind of erases her queer identity. So it's kind of going. Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't know.
That's okay. Listen, I don't know. I wish we knew anybody. We don't know anybody who can get anything published. But I honestly, best of luck with it. And I know how tough the audition process can be. It sucks, especially if you're having to do it on Zoom. I don't know if you're having to do those, or if you were having to do those on Zoom. If they're in person now.
Yeah, I blow all those, but they're mostly self-tape, so you can do it on your phone. So it's not awful. It's not awful.
Well, listen, I want you to know. We have, we've always had, but we have the utmost respect for you. And I just want to say how much we appreciate you giving us, this 20 minutes, because, I know that, again, we lean on you for a lot of these things, and the hockey community leans on you for a lot of these things, for insights, for leadership. And you know, we're happy. We're so happy for your success, but we're so grateful for your time. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it was great to connect, and hopefully we'll all be on the ice again soon.
Yes, yes. Yeah. You'll be carrying the puck up, and we'll be showing up afterwards, panting.
I'll be there.
Well behind the play, but you'll be there.
Good job. Good job.
Thanks, Harrison.
Thanks so much.
So I'd mentioned last episode about the Canadian soccer team basically refusing to play a friendly against Panama this past weekend, but nobody finding out until like hours before. I think a friend of the show, Faisal Kamiza, flew out there with his dad, and they were like, "What do you mean the game's not happening? I don't understand." And he was on vacation. And somebody that I know knows a lot about this and was tweeting about it is a good friend of our show, Sid Seixeiro, on vacation and making time. Look at this. Look at this. He wants to. So Sid, you were pretty passionate about this, right? Like this was pretty. You were pretty upset with Canada Soccer.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what happened here?
Okay. How long do you got? Seriously.
We got
how long
time.
do you
It's
got?
a podcast.
Look, we'll ask the bosses.
I forgot how I'm telling yes. And I believe there's a board meeting going on
That's
right now.
Yeah.
First off, it's great to see you guys.
We love you, man. Good to see you.
You know, Leafs playing, Leafs not playing. You guys have one of the best pods out there, period. And it's great to see you again. First off, to all the broadcasters in this country, radio or television, who consistently started every one of these conversations with, you know what, it's a really unfortunate situation. Thank you for updating me on how unfortunate it is. I really appreciate all of you going down this Johnny Obvious road, that it's an unfortunate situation. Like I looked at them cancel a game, fly to Canada, cancel the game Sunday night, have Faisal Kamiza, his dad, and a bunch of other young families and fans coming down to BCE Place. And I thought it was a super fortunate situation. I want to thank everyone for clearing that up for me. I want to thank everyone for clearing up for me. Can we stop living in this fucking obvious take country of ours for once? People rip me all the time for being honest. Don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. I know exactly how unfortunate that is. Get a better take. That's the first thing.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm enough of this garbage. It's a very unfortunate situation. No kidding. No kidding. They canceled a game. Thank you for the update. I want to move on from that.
I also have to say, a lot of people are like, frustration on both sides. I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, frustrations on both sides. Sorry, the second update was there's frustrations on both sides.
No way. Labor dispute? There's frustration on both sides? Get out of here.
Unreal.
Sorry, Sid.
No, it's all good. So I'm sitting there through the weekend and I'm reading and hearing that the men's team aren't training for like 2 straight days. It wasn't one day. And it's Sunday morning and I'm like, is there a game tonight in Vancouver or not? Are we going to do this? And then when I heard that Nick Bontis, the president of the CSA, and the executives flew in like day of, I knew the thing wasn't happening. There's no way. Because and not for the first time in corporate history in this country, executives didn't really know how mad the employees were. Mm-hmm. So they showed up, and I've lived this, and you guys, they showed up, and they were like, whoa, I just got back from Cancun. Why is everyone so upset? They're so upset because there's been no negotiation. There's been 0 negotiations of any serious level, okay? Do you think Alphonso Davies is going to fly from Munich to Vancouver for no reason? Do you think Atiba Hutchinson, do you think Jonathan Osorio's in the middle of the season? Do you think these guys are going to leave their clubs? And by the way, for Davies and some of these other guys, this is technically their vacay. You think they're coming over to this country to not play without there being a good reason? That's a waste of their time. Alphonso Davies, we love Alphonso Davies in this country. I still don't think most people understand how big this guy is, okay? And he's coming over here to sit in a hotel room in Vancouver while they hash this out. You think that happens by accident? You don't think there's a good reason for that? You don't think he's been told something he doesn't trust? You don't think the guys have been told something they don't trust from the CSA? Of course they have. They're not just going to cancel a game. I'm seeing kids holding signs outside of the stadium Sunday night talking to local news who legit 2 hours beforehand, like Faisal Kamiza, there was going to be a fucking game that night. And the CSA is like, yeah, they'll play. They'll play. Well, guess what happened? And not for the first time, the CSA had no idea PR-wise where they stood in relation to that team. Canada has fallen in love with that team. I got news for everyone at the CSA. Canada has fallen in love with that team to qualify for that World Cup. In the way they qualified for that, do you think anyone gives a fuck what an executive from Ontario thinks? Or do you think they care about what Atiba Hutchinson and Alphonso Davies and Jonathan Osorio think? The PR loss here for the CSA is staggering, but it's the bubble they've been living in for 30 years, which allows this to take place. And it is a rather unfortunate situation. It is.
But you have to acknowledge there's frustration on both sides.
What did you think? What did you think of Nick Bontis's press conference after, like immediately after explaining everything to the Vancouver media and sort of, as this thing blew up?
Well, let me talk about the first thing, because there's speculation online that, because Nick Bontis came to Toronto Monday. He was in Vancouver Sunday night for that, whatever that was. And then everyone was really surprised when he flew back to Toronto. The word on the street is he's getting harassed and some of his family is getting harassed. Mm-hmm. Let's start off with this. I love Canada soccer. A lot of people do. Whether it's Nick Bontis, whether it's politicians, leave the families out of this.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. Any clown who searched out anything about Nick Bontis, who figured out who he was like 48 hours earlier, needs to check themselves in a serious way. And hopefully everything's okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know much more than that, but that's the word on the street. Because as you guys know, the emotions were running pretty hot over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's
pretty hot.
It should be a prerequisite to the conversation not to commit crimes. Like, I feel like we shouldn't even have to say that.
You would think, right?
You would think.
You would think. But it's not like that. It's not. So I want to start with that. I hope everything's all right with Nick. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Sunday night. So what Nick and Earl Cochran, I'm not sure what his title is with the CSA, but he's clearly a right-hand man. He was sitting to the right of Nick, so clearly he's important. In the same press conference, they told me they weren't going to negotiate through the media and then proceed to negotiate through the media. Mm-hmm. That tells you all you need to know about really the thought process behind that one. Again, Nick Bontis thought he was going to sit there like he thinks he has a pulse of the fan. I'm sorry. He doesn't. He does not. Nick Bontis has never met me. I was down there watching games at BMO with 5,000 people at it. And there's a crew of people in and around the country at various cities who know exactly what I'm talking about, that have been waiting for this moment their whole life on the men's side. Thank God the women have won stuff. Thank God. They've led the way. Mm-hmm. Now we got two lanes here where our national teams, women, men, are on fire. And you're going to talk to us, and I'm going to say us because a lot of people know what I'm talking about, who've been down there, like this is our first day. You're going to talk to us like we don't think this has now, this World Cup qualification has now opened up new financial doors. Do I look that stupid to you? Do some of the fans look that stupid to you? You want to talk about a $25 million budget to run Canada soccer? I believe that. The game's changed a little bit, which he didn't talk about in that press conference.
Right.
The marketing that's opened up here, the TV rights that have opened up here, are staggering. Now, the role of the third party in this is what the issue is. What the players' issue is. Can you
explain that one? Because I think a lot of people are like, it's difficult for us to understand it because it's very business. And we're here to watch games. We're not here to understand the business side of it. Can you explain what that is? Because there was an agreement in 2018, and it extends and it covers some of this, and it's preventing them from making money. How does that all work?
So in 2018, Canadian Soccer Business is formed. Now, I find it odd their name is so similar to Canada Soccer, but that's a topic maybe we'll jump into in a couple seconds. They came in and, to their credit, invested as heavily in Canadian soccer as anyone you've ever seen. Now, there are former internationals involved in this group. The major positives here are twofold. The Canadian Premier League, who are growing every year and have really smart people in their front offices. I think they're doing a great job, terrific job. And this is our national team, and hopefully our women have the same luxury one day of having their own league here. But our men's national team will benefit from this. We'll produce 2 to 3 people who legitimately will play in the starting 11 one day, hopefully. The second thing they did was invest in One Soccer. Now, One Soccer has done as much to further the game of soccer in this country as any TV network out there. And I have dear friends who work for One Soccer. They do incredible work. Incredible work. The problem is now all of that good is really being put under a microscope, because the other side to Canada Soccer business that started in 2018 is they also own now all the commercial rights to Canada Soccer. Oh. National teams and clubs who aren't MLS affiliated. I'm talking everything. So the national team players, from what I can gather, when this dispute started to kind of percolate, they got a weird feeling that there was a lot of flush money coming in and the CSA were terrified to lose it. The question was why? Why, if FIFA's giving our country $10 million, you are freaking out over this? And the reason they're freaking out is they don't know how much of that money goes right to Canada Soccer business. There's zero transparency, which is the history of Canada Soccer. History. Transparency? Good luck. Good luck. They'll stay in 5-star hotels at FIFA conferences easily. But transparency with the men's team, the women's team? Forget it. That is the guts of what's going on here. The players, if you're going to offer the players 10% on 10 million, they want to know why it's so important you keep the 90. And there is a level of distrust with this Canada Soccer business and how much revenue can come in that has not been answered. And the one thing I have an issue with is when I hear people say the players need to be more informed. The players need to know what's going on with Canada Soccer business. They need to be up to speed. Here's what I'll tell you. The 2019 Canada Soccer year-end financial report does not mention this deal once. The 2020 year-end financial report does not mention this deal once. The 2021 CSA financial year-end report does not mention this deal once. The players should be more up to speed. We all need to be up to speed because the information is not available. So put that on the players. Guys that just played in minus 30-degree temperatures and went through Central America during a pandemic, for God's sakes. They need to be more informed. The information's not out there for anybody. Anybody. No one wants to talk about this deal. They want to talk about the positives, and there are a ton. And I feel for a lot of my colleagues at One Soccer that are now caught in the middle of this garbage. They didn't want this. They didn't deserve this. Gareth, Sharman, a lot of good people. CPL, Christian Jack, amazing people. They're kind of in the middle of this, and they didn't ask for it, which is bullshit. They're awesome people. Andy Petrillo, everybody. But this information as to what this deal is not for public consumption. And for a while, it wasn't for private consumption. That's why that game didn't get played Sunday. Do you think Alphonso Davies gives a shit about another 3 million? He'll make that on Instagram next week.
He's right.
This is about something very different. If Canada Soccer is going to move forward here as an Olympic gold medal winning women's nation, and hopefully one day World Cup women's nation, and a World Cup participant on the men's side, the game is changing. And this we don't know where the money goes thing isn't good enough anymore. If this is going to be a partnership to grow the game, the Golden Cogs, those two programs, have to know what everyone's doing here, or there's no trust. Anyone on this call, or listening to this on pod, or watching this on YouTube, I'm guessing 90% of you someone has tried to fuck you over financial. It's not fun. When you can't trust someone, it's not fun. All they want to know is, how much money is Canada Soccer business going to make off this in our most profitable moment? That's it. If we're going to be partners, let's be partners. And I gotta hear Nick Bonda Sunday night say we have a $25 million operating budget. You did. In 3 years, what the fuck is the budget going to be? Don't talk to them like they're 5. These guys are smarter than you think, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. And that's what led to that game being canceled. Sometimes you need to shake someone like this before you get their attention. And that's what that was. If Canada Soccer is going to move forward, we got to know where the money's going. I'm sorry. This isn't about the 10 million. It isn't. This is about trust. This is about transparency. This is about what happens next for the women's side and the men's side. Listen, perfect world, you pool all the World Cup money together, men's and women, just like the USA did after a long fight, I grant you. After a long fight, but then you get together and you split it. And guess what? That's what's going to happen here. But if the officials want to keep fighting this and they want to drag this out, this unfortunate situation, then it's going to get uglier. Now, I think they're going to play, from what I've heard, they're playing tomorrow night. I got a weird feeling when the CSA put out that statement yesterday with no players on it, but they're going to play tomorrow night because there's repercussions if they don't from FIFA. It's an official Nations League game. It's different from a friendly. But we're getting in the weeds. A point here was made, okay? And if Canada Soccer, if we're going to move forward here as a nation that works together and brings in more money for everybody, we got to be honest with each other. And the players are feeling like the honesty isn't there. That's why the game was canceled.
Wow.
What do you think of the example of Alphonso Davies? Because we've talked in the past, at least on the hockey side, of the star players not wanting to get involved. But like you said, he could easily just sit back and not be part of this because he doesn't need it. He doesn't need the headache. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need any of it.
That's my biggest fear here. That's my biggest fear. Because I'm not worried about this team. This team's going to Qatar, and they're going to beat some teams. They're going to be fine. They're as unified as they can get. I'm surprised no player has spoken yet. I'm very interested in why that decision was made. But they're pretty unified. This type of story, and why it has to get rectified soon, to me, is more reflection on the 15-year-old somewhere in Canada or Europe or South America who has a relative from this country who has options. Okay? We lost Owen Hargreaves because we didn't know what we were doing in this country. Owen Hargreaves was from Calgary, Alberta back in the day. He slipped through the Canadian soccer system. Next thing you know, he's playing for England, senior team, and winning Champions Leagues. Okay? I don't want to go back to that. I want to stay here. This is fun. It's better. I like this. I want to tell every young person, 14, 15, 16 years of age, this too shall pass. This is just, it's growing, and the CSA can't match it, and it's quintessential growing pains, and it's fine. It'll be over in 2 months. That's what I want to tell all those kids, because the recruiting never stops. Canada's got to stay on this. They got to convince young people this is the place you want to be. This garbage tells kids this is not the place you want to be. That really concerns me. Not the current group, not the current executives. Everyone's going to be fine. I've seen everyone's Twitter account. They're fine. They're living okay. I'm worried about recruiting for the next stage. That's what concerns me.
And do you think that this will get done? Do you think that they'll figure this out? Because obviously, CSA made sure to note that progress had been made. That was the wording, I believe, that came out of their press conference. Was it Monday or Tuesday?
Monday.
Do you want to believe it? Can you believe it? Do you want to believe it? Especially coming from them. Have we made progress? And the women's team did put out a statement saying that they were supportive of what the men were doing, but that there was some FIFA dollars that were not the same for them as they were for the men. So I'm assuming that you do a model that's a lot like the United States model. Why would Canada Soccer not want to do that? How do we not all profit? Why not just move to that now?
Because to answer your last question first, I think Canada Soccer is still scared at what the revenue. That's the issue. What is the actual revenue for these tournaments with this third party involved?
Right.
Listen, I'm not the banker here. I don't know. Math is not my forte. Okay. But I can understand you not getting answers on a third party when it comes to a lot of money and being nervous about that. I get that. And that's all that's happening here. In terms of progress, yeah, I think progress has been made. The fact that they were training the last few days means progress was made. I still think they're not there yet. This was a serious thing that happened, and it can't be repaired in 48 hours. Listen, this is how I am. Like, we can have a major disagreement, and then we can come to a conclusion, but I'm going to need some time with this. There are some people out there that are okay 2 seconds after. God bless them. I'm not wired like that. I need time. When I put in this much time in anything, I need time to process what happened, and then I'll get over it eventually. I think the guys in that room, they're going to need some time with this. They'll play that game tomorrow. They'll go to Honduras Monday. And I think by opening game World Cup November, when Steve's doing game overs to every game. Did I hear that recently? Steve's doing a game over from every World Cup game. Did I hear that?
I wrongly said that Italy qualified.
Yeah, because Portugal qualified. Sid, I don't know if you heard.
Whatever.
Portugal over
Italy. Portugal qualified. Who cares? The point is this. I still think Steven, with Italy tragically not qualifying, I still think a Canadian game over. Jesse, convince him to do a Canadian game.
Oh, yeah, you need to do it.
Yeah,
at least one.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. Like an LFR, even if it's not game over, just an LFR for Team Canada.
Only if I can do it with my father-in-law.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You make the rules, man.
Yeah. As long as you do it. I don't care how.
Yeah, why am I asking for permission? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's circle back. One last thing. The women's money.
Yes.
Huge. That's like, now in the US it's different because there are people who believe women's prize money and marketing in soccer in the States is close to, if not bigger at times, than the men.
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the standard is here. Clearly, our women's team in that statement said, "Whoa! It's not apples to apples." Okay, what our program gets from FIFA for women's tournaments is not the same. I think they're bang on.
Yeah,
that has to be straightened out. Our women's national team have been carrying the mail for far too long in this country, and they need to be compensated.
Yep.
100%. Listen, the fact is there's multiple issues here that the CSA have to deal with because these are the most important parts of the association. The one thing Nick Bontis said Sunday when he was talking about, forgive me, I'm going long, aren't I?
It's okay.
How much time do you got?
We got time.
Podcasts are fun. He goes, we have a $25 million budget. And if we didn't have to take care of futsal and beach soccer and our under 17s and under 20s, and I stopped listening to him after he said futsal and beach soccer. I would argue 50 to 60% of soccer fans in this country don't know what futsal is. It's indoor soccer. Ball's a little smaller, but it's registered across the world. It's pretty entertaining. Beach soccer, I don't know how popular beach soccer is in Canada. And I'm trying to dig on this one. But I would like to know how much of that $25 million a year operating budget from the CSA is designated for futsal and beach soccer. How many 5-star hotels when they travel?
Right.
I'd really like to know that. Under 17s, under 20s, that takes money. I hear you. Women and men, that takes money. But he threw stuff out there. I don't know if the executives knew what futsal were when they got hired. And you're telling me that's a huge sliver of your 25 mil? Don't talk to me like I don't know what's going on. That's what bothered me about Sunday too. It was combative, and you were talking to people like they didn't know soccer. I got news for every executive in this country. That is bullshit. This country's changing in a major way. Some of us been in it longer than others, but you can't be talking to fans like that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever negotiate through the media like that again and think you have a clue what you're doing. You will lose that PR battle 3 months after they qualify for a goddamn World Cup. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? It's a really unfortunate situation.
All right, Sid, explained so much better than we could ever try. And the thing is that, like, you got to know soccer inside out the way that you do, the way that Canadian soccer fans who were showing up before these guys were popular, like the men's side. The women's side has been amazing for 15, 20 years, but the men's side, the people that were showing up in the hardcores and in the cold and at the friendlies and Canada versus Jamaica 2019 in the summertime, which I almost bought tickets for, but it didn't go to. Those are the things that said, I think that these executives really don't take into consideration, right? Is there are a lot of people and this information is spreading quickly and it's easy to look up. And frankly, a lot of people are getting really into this real quick. So I just want to say thank you so much for making the time. I didn't even have the chance to ask Sid. I said it on the show on Monday and I said, hey, we should bring Sid on for that. And I get a text from Sid, I'm in.
That's awesome.
On his vacation. He's on vacation today.
What a guy.
So we appreciate it so much.
And I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah. Well,
Thoroughly enjoying it.
well, I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't attempt the airport. And Sid, we love you, man. We got to have you back in sometime real soon. But thanks so much for making time for us. We always appreciate it.
Listen, man, you guys know what I think about you. Love you guys and appreciate the time. And fine, just before I go, Sports Interaction, what are the odds on Mikko Lehtinen winning the Conn Smythe?
Steve, you want to answer for that?
Oh, man.
I'm excited for his new sports show, Sid and Enemies.
Amazing. Sid Seixeiro, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We won't do a press conference today because we've stacked things.
Pretty rare two-guest show.
Yeah, but what needed, I think, is that you get perspectives that you just can't get. And
next week, can I announce this? We're bringing on Mikko Lehtinen.
Oh, that's great.
To talk.
I'm so excited for Mikko Lehtinen.
Where does Mikko Lehtinen play right now?
Let's see if he can get it.
Not Colorado.
No. Yes.
That's a good answer.
Is he back with Jokerit?
No.
What league?
He is in the KHL.
Oh, shit. And he's not with Jokerit. No, because Jokerit's not in the KHL anymore. They left.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he's a good player. So, one of the teams with the most money, SKA St. Petersburg.
And
Steve Dangle, everybody!
Okay,
15 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists, plus 2.
Oh, really?
7, no, plus 7, 2 PIMs.
No, that's how that works. Are they good? SKA St. Petersburg. It's a very short flow chart.
Question.
Yes.
Can you name the team he'll be playing for next year because his contract is signed?
Oh, really?
Oh, he signed...
He signed a contract.
Here?
Not
NHL?
here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to tell you what league. And that should hint. Is it KHL? Is it NHL? Is it something else?
You got to give us the league.
I think he signed back in Finland and he's going to go to Jokerit.
He is signing with what could have been Mitch Marner's new team.
Oh, shit!
Which is Austin Matthews' old team.
The Zurich Lions.
Lions.
Oh, wow.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Well,
So you get
now,
to play in Zurich, which is sick.
now he's going to go first overall.
Has to. Absolutely has to.
He's going to go first overall.
Win what?
In life.
What is he going
He's got to get drafted again,
first
Jesse.
overall.
That's why.
Into what?
First. Yes. Yes.
What is he getting drafted for?
All right, we're out of
Listen,
here.
I've got his name right. All right.
We are out of here. So have yourself a fantastic day. And obviously, we will be back on Friday with maybe, I don't know, are we going to get a wrapped series soon?
No.
No,
we can't.
it'll be the weekend.
We got 1 game.
Okay.
It's weird not having hockey every night.
It is.
It's weird that.
Well, yeah, it's-
there's no hockey.
It's weird and bad and unenjoyable.
And then Stranger Things is so fucking dark this
Yeah.
year. It's so dark.
Oh, it's awesome.
I love it, but it's dark. Everything's bad.
I'm really bummed about having all these nights off.
Okay.
I wish.
Stop it.
no.
All right, we'll see you
Hate to watch
Friday.
hockey on YouTube. It's such a task.
Well, apparently I struggle immensely.
Oh, I'm Steve, and everything's difficult.
No, you're right. I should want to. You know what? I'm gonna right now. I'm gonna call my boss and be like, I want to do Tampa versus New York.
Do it. I dare you.
I want to do it. Geo block it.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.